So I was talking about you today.
Oh, yeah.
That shouldn't come as a surprise. When am I not talking about you in a healthy, moderate amount? Just so we're clear. But I was talking about you today. And earlier in the year, I bought Brie 5 pumpkins as a joke. I don't know why I thought
Earlier in the year. In October.
In October.
A normal time.
Earlier in the year. I don't know what your sense of time is like, but that was earlier in the year.
I feel like usually when I say that it's so long ago. Like I think like early in the year.
I said earlier though, not early in the year. So
you're right.
Okay.
You're technically right.
Thank you. You just don't like it. And you're allowed to not like it, but don't make me change it. I'm not going to get you any more gifts.
Okay.
I won't tell you the rest of the story. Stop. Okay. Back to my story. So earlier in the year, I got Brie a bunch of pumpkins because I wanted her to, they were jokes. They were like mini, but I was like, carve them all. She hasn't done anything. And I refused to throw them out because I'm like, Brie, your pumpkins, don't forget about them. But I was talking with my friend who was with me when I bought the pumpkins, and we were like, it's going to be so funny if we do this to her. But we have so many activities more for you to do.
Oh, good.
We're going to buy you snowmen to make. And for Valentine's Day, you're getting Valentine's cards to fill out with some candies. And you're going to give them to people. So we've got so many activities planned for you.
God,
like,
I'm busy.
If you don't think you have things planned, you do. You do.
That's been part of the issue with the pumpkins.
I know, but the pumpkin thing is so easy that it's killing me.
That I haven't done it yet. I've been busy.
You could literally paint them blue. That's what I've been trying to tell you for so long. You have blue paint in the drawer.
Also keep trying to do it when you're gone. And then every time I'm finally like, I'm going to do it. Like the other night, I had it planned out and I ordered food and I was like, I'm going to paint these while I eat. And then you came home and I was like, damn it.
I'm going to be 80 by the time you do anything with these fucking pumpkins. I just want to point that out. But you got to get started on something because you have a lot of things coming your way because I did order something.
Oh my God.
Snowmen.
It's a good thing I have so much extra time.
Snowmen for you to make. Like little mini ones.
Thank you for
I think you can make
crafts.
8 of them.
8?
I didn't say I wanted 8. I just said you can make 8. I didn't specify how many I wanted.
I haven't even been able to get to 5 pumpkins.
Listen, I've made a business for you that you didn't know you were a part of. Get to work.
Now I have to make money off of these. This just became so much more work. I'm already stressed.
You said you wanted another job.
This is not what I meant.
You're working for me.
Do you have benefits for me?
We're going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Let's circle back.
Thank you for my gifts and my projects.
That's all I wanted was a thank you. Thank you so much for the gifts and projects that I haven't asked for once. It's really nice that you're always thinking of me and putting me to work.
Thank you for committing the most to a bit.
Truly, baby. That's all this is. That's all this is.
Of course. The friend you're talking about, of course, like they are just as good at us as sticking to a bit, if not better. So
you know this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So you might as well paint your pumpkins, build your snowmen, do your Valentine's cards, and say hello to the roommates.
Hi, roomies.
See,
Hopefully
when she
not in
does
that
what I
order.
say, things go according to plan.
If it was in that order, it'd be a long time before I can say hi to you guys.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I agree. It took me a second to understand what you were saying. I was like...
That keeps happening tonight. I feel like that's been happening a lot, not just with you. Am I okay? Am I talking good?
You talk good.
Thank you.
And well. And give good advice.
Aw, thanks.
And you're a good roommate.
You sound so put out by it.
Sorry that you just happened to say that when I was taking... Well, I mean, you could be a good roommate. There are a couple of improvements. First one would be painting the pumpkins.
Okay.
But like I said, just say hello to the roommates. We'll get one thing off the list. One thing. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Back.
I'm just trying to get her on track.
Get out while you still can. She's going to have projects for you guys, too. But also, not yet. Stay here for just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But I'll tell you guys when to leave. When to get out so that you don't get projects.
Hey, I bet you they would get them done.
Yeah, maybe actually that's what I'll do.
Why don't you get
assistance.
people to help you? That's what you need. That's what the roommates are for.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Help us help you. And to help us,
to work for me?
To help us, you have to help Bree paint the pumpkins. You have to help her build, because I'm not going to let her do things unless she's...
What should I paint them, guys? That's been my whole thing that I keep getting caught up on too, because now it's gone on for so long that I'm like, now it's got to be something good. I can't just paint them blue at this point.
And this is why I said I'll be 80. So you guys help her. Tell her what to do in the comments.
Please.
So that she can move on to her next project. Because I'm putting a lot of money into her. And her side gigs. So it's expensive keeping Brie busy.
I'm such an investment.
A worthy one.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so I meant that. But it's not like it's cheap, guys. I am a single woman. I have one income.
I have barely any.
So these crafts aren't cheap, guys.
So we're gonna mark them up a lot.
We gotta sell.
Anybody.
We just gotta say, oh, Bree from Rent Free Roommates made this, and it's gonna be worth a lot of money one day because
Artisan handmade.
Because our followers are gonna spread the word about us.
Yeah.
And how great we are, and they're gonna do that.
Idea.
They're gonna do that by sharing us,
love that,
commenting about us, screaming at people on the streets about us. Think
Nicely
Billy Eichner.
screaming.
Think Billy Eichner.
For $1.
For $1, ma'am. A podcast that's great, starring two women living in the city who like to give advice to people.
I think that's a great
I think
question.
I know one that comes to mind.
Yeah, one
Do you?
right away.
What?
Well, if it's your first time here, I'm Bree.
I'm Abby.
And we are your rent-free roommates.
You just got $1. You just got $1. Yes, correct.
Could really get me out of a few
You're going to use that towards my budget for her activities.
But hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
I hope you did too.
I can't believe it's like here and gone and almost December.
I was just thinking that this morning, and
Holy shit.
and then I decided to not
Yeah.
anymore because I said, ooh, then that means it's almost the new year. And then that means it's
Actually, maybe I'm happy
2024.
about that. Oh, it's scary again.
Yeah. So why don't you just stop?
Yeah, we won't even.
Okay.
But
Focus on the now. I literally just got done
yeah,
playing a TikTok for you. Focusing in the now, Bree.
telling me. You're so right. And right now, I think you should email us at rentfreeroommates@gmail.com if you have anything to tell us, to share with us, to celebrate, want advice on, or just, want to vent, whatever it is. Also a share. All of that stuff is very, 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 very helpful for us. The more we are seen and heard, the better it is, the more roomies we have, and the more we can just keep growing that. But for real, like any little interaction really helps us out. We're not just saying it.
No, we're small business.
Yeah.
Think it like that, okay? Small business.
Yeah.
So help out, support local.
And we are Rent Free Roommates everywhere. That is RENTFREEROOMMATES @gmail.com if you're emailing us.
Yeah. Or like if you need, you can play that back a little bit slower, write it back down, rewind, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I am supposed to be spelling to help, and I just kind of
I think you're just
ramble
good at
through
it now. I think you just like it now. It's like your little flex
It's
in
fun.
every intro. But yes, guys,
fun
Rent Free
to do.
Roommates. Whether you write it down on a notebook, tattoo it on yourself, get a bumper sticker, that would be cool, actually. Would you give us one?
That's probably something we should
Do you want to make us merch?
I don't know. That's how it.
You know what, guys? Better idea. We'll have Bree make the merch.
Thank God.
Before I add anything else to this woman's to-do list.
We'll get into it.
Should we?
Yeah.
Should we?
I think so.
I've got some ideas.
Okay. Let's get into it. Happy Pops. It's like a popsicle.
What flavor do you think it would be?
What flavor do you want it to be? It's your Pops.
Caramel.
Oh, okay.
With cherries and vanilla ice
Interesting.
cream.
Okay.
How about that?
Well,
What do you think?
that's Abby Pops.
That's an Abby Pop for you.
Abby Pops is what I call her hip pops that she does. She has this little move, but it works because, like, especially at my desk, now that I have my standing desk, I will, like, I'll feel it. Now that I've started doing it, I can feel when I need to do it.
Right? And doesn't it feel amazing?
It does.
It's like the greatest crack of your life.
It is.
It truly is. Like, it's releasing.
Yeah.
It's everything. She is the moment.
True.
Like, do you
So
not feel
true.
better?
Oh, I do.
And like, there's some weird like flex about how loud it is.
That's when I call it an Abby Pop. If it's just like you can barely hear it, like I'm the only one that heard it, I'm like, well, that's not.
That's just normal.
But when it's like it echoed, I'm like, that's an Abby Pop.
Dude, I don't know why my body pops like that, but it's astonishing and I love it.
I do love when I can get like a good crack, a good pop.
Say crack again.
Crack.
Okay. Perfect. Great. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
You're a very good listener.
Thank you. I try.
Am I going to Pavlov you? Because you lit up. It's scary how easy that is to do, by the way. That's crazy.
Just be slightly nice to me and it makes my day.
No, not you specifically.
But that is true.
We are going to unpack that in probably a later episode. Okay? You're going to write in.
Okay.
And we're going to put anonymous this bitch. We're going to unpack what just happened there.
It will be so obvious to everybody. I just don't hold back and I talk about all of my
I
depression.
would know it's Brie
all the
because it's
time.
8,000 pages long.
Yeah. And it could have been 2.
You are Rachel. You are Rachel in the We Were on a Break episode with how many, or not, We Were on a Break. The one where she writes the letter.
Yes.
That is you.
Front
And back. Yeah, that's you, babe. It's not even because like she's angry. It's just like she was probably like, yeah. And here's a story of when I was 8 that somehow is going to relate back to this. Just hang in there.
You need to know how I got to each thought.
Every time.
Anyways.
Sorry, this was not a roast. I would just know it's you eventually because it's long.
Yeah.
The joke is Brie
the
doesn't
first
know how
joke.
to tell a short story, guys.
And part of the joke was that the joke was long.
You guys get it? This joke is super long. It's a Brie joke. Da da da.
Damn it. Brevity is not my middle name. Let's get into it.
I just finished my first 20 minutes of the gym. A friend from work asked me to run a 5K marathon with her. This friend has helped me a lot with personal stuff, and I felt I needed to repay her, so I said that I'd do it with her for emotional support. Not feeling confident in my running ability, I said fuck it and joined a gym, something that I had put off for years in fear. I think I was scared of being judged for failing or just breaking something. Facts, I did fall in the gym once. I've changed my name since. We'll get back on track. But wanting to help my friend pushed me to do it, and I've just done 10 minutes of walking with 10 minutes of running, alternating between the two every 2 minutes. It feels amazing, and I feel I can keep going harder, but I don't want to overdo it. But I'm actually looking forward to doing some running tomorrow.
Yay.
I love this because I feel like I had my own personal journey with the gym too, and it was a very slow build similar to yours, where like I think it actually was just a build over the years, and now I love going to the gym, but it would be like alternating. Like I would be really great one week and then not go for 2 months, and then I'd go for like the entire week and then a couple days the next week and then fall off again. And then truth be told, I had some like issues getting my anxiety medication refilled, and I was like, ooh, if I'm not on my medication, I need to be doing something stimulating, I think, that'll keep my mind like healthy. And I was like, let me go to the gym. And that became like a really good place for me to clear my mind, and I started to look forward to it slowly that way too. And in the last episode, I told everybody I live my life in scenarios. So now when I go to the gym and run, I always give myself scenarios that I'm running to. I don't know. For some reason, the Real World like challenge TJ Lavin guy is always there. I think I really want to impress him subconsciously.
Like on the machine that you're using?
No, like he's in my scenarios. Like when I'm like playing a game. Like mostly I'm in a soccer game. Mostly I'm in a soccer game, and I'm like, I always like having people there. For some reason, my friend, who I played soccer with in high school, I was really close with her family. For some reason, her family's there a lot. So is she. What up, Cynthia? Cynthia, you're in my scenarios. But yeah, no, I think that also helped me get really into the gym because I was like really feeling myself. No, and then you like start to see really healthy things come from it too. Like you have a little pep in your step, you get a little more energy. It sucks like when you first start though, because you do like get sore and your body's not used to it. Yeah. But like you kind of get over that hump, but find your rhythm too. That's the important part, because my journey with the gym was not overnight. It, like I said, it was over a span of a couple years, and now I go really consistently, and it's like a solid part of my routine. But it took a really long time. I wasn't always like, hey, I got to go to the gym. But it just became like a really healthy release for me. And I think that's a good way to look at it too. Like, because I like your perspective of like, wanting to be there for emotional support, so you're not putting a ton of pressure on yourself, which I feel like a lot of people do. When you think of the gym, you just have to be super consistent and you're there to lose weight and you're there to do this. And I kind of like your approach of just wanting to do emotional support, and then your ease into it, because I think a lot of people just go balls to the wall, and then that ruins their image of the gym, because then they get really sore, and then they associate it with that, and then they associate always having to go like really hard at the gym, and if they're not in the mood, it can seem like a lot of work. But the way you're starting is just like easing into it and letting your body find a rhythm, I think is really helpful too.
Yeah, I think keeping it as, I mean, goals are good until they're not. Like,
yeah, like don't let it be your sole purpose for being there. I like the approach that you're doing, to be honest. It seems like it's motivating.
Yeah, do it to build a habit.
Yeah, a healthy habit.
Right. Which is fine then that it's like a slow build, like you were saying, and keep doing the things that you get enjoyment out of. And then you can add, like, once that becomes this habit, then you can add in the things that are like maybe a little bit more intimidating, and eventually that'll become a habit too. Because the gym is so intimidating, especially if like you've been away from it for a long time or have never gone, and you know, we're only ever doing things at home maybe, or on your own. It's just so fucking intimidating. Like I have yet to find any scenario or any gym that isn't. The only time I didn't feel intimidated or judged or just self-conscious was when I was doing this boot camp thing with my mom and a bunch of her friends and stuff that literally was just run out of a family friend's like garage. So it was all just like, we were surrounded by people that everybody was on different levels. You knew that we were all doing our own thing, but we had somebody like a professional giving us good things to do, and knew that you could do it at your own pace and you just didn't feel judged. And it was just very positive. And that's what it should be. That's what I wish more experiences were. I also had a time where I was going to the gym regularly, and that was my favorite part about it, was just like, not even, it was like the physical effects was just a bonus. Mm-hmm. The mental help that it gave me, the release that it gave me, like you were talking about, was my favorite part about it. Because
you get quite the endorphin rush too, like afterwards, and it feels really good, at least for me. Like I always do a bit of running and then the stairs, and then
you're great for doing the stairs.
That's just from soccer. That was always a part of our conditioning. And so really? Yeah, like, because I've gotten that before too, where people are like, because I always do cardio when I go to the gym.
That was all I did, but I didn't, not stairs. Cardio, well, yes, though.
I always do cardio, and then I'll work on what I want to work on.
Yeah.
But that also was a hump for me to get over. I had to, because that was my mentality when I first started, is I was so used to how I worked out when I was playing soccer that's how I thought I needed to continue to work out. And I just, wasn't like that anymore. My body hadn't been in that shape for a while. It just wasn't used to that kind of physical activity, to that intensity. because it had been a couple of years too. And like, I still played in leagues, but not to like the degree of when I was younger too. So my body wasn't used to that. And I was pushing myself way too hard and not letting myself go easy. And so I never wanted to go to the gym because of that. Because I was like, oh my God, like it's just always so hard when I go.
Right.
And I'm like, but I'm doing that.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. And that's why I thought it was like such an issue. Like for me to go, I hated it. And now when I'm in the parking lot, I'm like, what are these people doing here? Because I'm like, this is my place. But I mean it. I'm sorry. I'm not an asshole. I'm like, obviously everybody can come to the gym. But that's just how much I like it now.
Yeah.
That I just found a rhythm that I'm okay with. Like I walk for a solid 5 minutes before I even start running. Mm-hmm. And when I do stairs, I always go like to a destination.
Yeah. Like whatever motivates you, whatever lets you push yourself, like obviously not too far, don't hurt yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Mine was always music, and I had like a playlist that I loved when I always did the elliptical. I like made a lot of progress when me and Kaylee were going regularly, even though I don't fucking know how we did that. Because we would like literally close down a 2 a.m., 3 a.m. bar the night before. I go get shit food, stay at Kaylee's, and then get up and go to the gym and probably just like reeked like alcohol. But
hey, that's on being young.
I took 7 minutes off of my 5K time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like I've only done 2 in my life.
I've never even done one. I'm so intimidated by them.
It was the first one that I did. I was like, I've never done this. I've never done anything like any.
I've never done that either, and it really intimidates
me.
me.
Because my mom had done them, and I was like, I'll do one. I was like, just one, just so I can say I've done it. And then I did it, and literally my only goal for myself, I was like, I just don't want to be the last one.
And you weren't?
Right. And I
Bitch.
don't. I was like, I want to do it under an hour, even if it's like 58 minutes. And I think it was close to that.
Hey, at least you know yourself.
But then I ended up doing it in like 40 something. Like I took 7. It must have been lower in the 50s because I think my time was somewhere around like 40.
Well, that's great.
Minutes or something like that for my second one. And that was such a great feeling because I was way long out of that boot camp, which that was when I was at my best because we were fucking doing shit. Like I was flipping tires, swinging the sledgehammer, all that shit.
You didn't want to get on her bad side.
And it motivated me because that was only once a week. So then I was doing stuff outside of that too. Because I was like, this feels great. I'm seeing results. I want to keep going. But then when I fell off and then when it got into the point where me and Kaylee were doing it regularly, seeing that, just even seeing the difference, also having a machine where I can give myself those visual cues of like, I'm going to push myself. If I was like, the song's over, but I was like almost to another like even mile, I was like, okay, let me just finish this out. Mm-hmm. And I just keep going. So that's like my motivator too. Weirdly, Sia at that time was a big part of my workout.
That's a choice.
There was
Which song in particular?
There was a lot of them. It was a lot of Sia songs.
That's interesting.
I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, I was like, I know.
I only like one Sia song, and it's with Diplo.
When I saw that 7-minute time difference, I was like, thanks, Sia.
Thanks, Sia. Shout out to Sia.
I don't agree with everything she has done since then, but her music really helped me for a moment, so that's fine. Anyways, love that you're doing this, and it's good to do it with that kind of goal where it's like I'm doing this. I think it's
a really healthy goal too.
Let's do a 5K. That's fun, and I think you're really gonna like it, and you're gonna want to do more probably.
Yeah, I would actually really love to know your thoughts because I'm just overall kind of intimidated by 5Ks. I don't know why. I think it's because in my mind, I'm like, everybody's going to look at me and worry about how I'm running. And I'm just such a competitive person too. And running is still not my strong suit. Like when I say that, like, I like it more than I used to. Like I still hate running. I shouldn't say hate because that's a bad way to put it. It's my least favorite activity. I do it because I know it's good for my body and I reap a lot of benefits and like, I know it. So it's like kind of mind over matter for me still, where I'm like, still not my favorite, but I know that it's good.
Yeah.
And so I'm still trying to even find like my rhythm with it. And I'm not even joking. Like that's where my fun scenarios come into play. I'm also really good at, is it roller derby where they skate and get the points? Yeah, I'm really good at that. You didn't know that, but I'm really good.
Like, is that one of your scenarios?
Like I'm the best.
I was like, wait, I didn't know this about you. I was so excited.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm so excited for when this comes true. Everyone's going to be like, she's delulu. No, a little bit. I'm working on it. But no, that's one of the scenarios too. So I think that's what's had to help me. But I would really love to know how you like it, what got you through it, what your motivators were. I'm really proud of you because I think running is... It's just, everybody's got to find their own niche thing with it, in my opinion. And so I'm proud of you for that. I like your approach with it. I probably should have taken some of those notes. I think I do a little bit now because I walk before I really start running. So, yeah, I think what you're doing is great. And I'm really proud of you. And I hope you stick with it. Like if you still enjoy it and like what you're seeing and like what you're doing, I think there's a lot of really healthy benefits from going to the gym for your mental health, obviously, and your physical health. But it's helped me a lot in some down times too. So.
Oh yeah, it was a really dark time.
Yeah.
When I was, believe it or not, there was another dark time.
Hey guys, guess what?
But
it was just a different year.
It was a different beast. Yeah. But it really did, like, that was my favorite part. I made jokes about myself. I was like, I'm going to be that crying girl at the gym.
Brie just loves to cry. I think that's just you, Brie, baby.
Oh, I've always been a crier.
You just love to cry. Good morning, Brie. Thank you.
I can't believe you said that to me.
That was really nice. Okay. Yeah, I can make a copy of this.
But also, the whole intimidation thing, I hate that that's a thing, and it doesn't need to be. It shouldn't be. There's a lot of validity to it, but I think also half of it is in our own heads, which is always true. But just try it out. That's why I was saying, like, find what you like that keeps you going, and then once it's an established habit, then kind of venture out into it. Because, like, I always wanted to get into free weights because I missed the stuff from, like, my boot camp that I used to do. And I was like, I know how to do some of this stuff and I want to do it, but it's crowded over there and that's all a bunch of guys that I don't want to go by them. And I maybe don't know how to use this machine, or maybe I'm going to look stupid doing this. But
you know what?
No, just do it.
It's true. And honestly, there's some like psychological things you could do here to give yourself more confidence in the gym. Because I used to feel kind of insecure about that too, Brie. I read that if you just like, when you're walking too, that if you just keep looking straight forward, it looks like you have like something intentional in mind, or that you're doing something with intent. So people get out of your way more. And it's true. And that's actually specifically what I do at the gym when I want somebody to not get on the stairs when I'm about to, or I want them to get out of my way, that kind of thing. So I that's a good way to build confidence. And then one thing I also just realized too is like after going like the second or third time, like kind of consistently and getting your rhythm, it kind of starts to really feel like your place.
But I hope things go well for you. I hope, and don't give yourself like too hard of a time, because I think that's why I liked the 5K so much, is that I didn't put a lot of pressure on myself. And
you're just doing something good.
It's a lot of community back there.
Good.
In the back.
Yeah. You're like, hey, we're out.
Not the people trying to get it done in like a ridiculous amount of time, which like good for you for doing that.
They're like
somebody's got to.
It's Sunday and we made it out, huh?
But yeah, there's the people in back that love being in back. It's like wine moms out there and shit like that.
Also,
I'm like,
here's
I love
the thing. You're running a 5K and there are people cheering you on. So
yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like there's still people not doing it and you're doing it.
You know what? That's partially probably why I did so much better in the second one too. Not only was I going to the gym more and I had definitely built up my endurance, but there was people so frequently, because it was like for a charity and stuff like that. And it was kids from the high school, which usually I'm very intimidated by high schoolers too.
Who is it? They're so mean.
But they were so sweet and they were just like cheering you on. So I know that I like started also probably being intimidated and being like, I gotta look cool.
I gotta get past them though, as fast as I can. Get shin splints.
I was like definitely about to slow down, and then they're cheering me on, and then I started jogging again, and I was like, hell yeah. Like I do love
camaraderie.
It's
I like
great at 5Ks and all that stuff.
You've got two cheerleaders on your side here.
Cheering you on. All the roomies are cheering you on.
Yeah.
Hope you have fun. We're proud of you. You're doing great.
You inspired me. I definitely need to do one. I have to.
Yeah.
I just have to do
one.
it. Yeah, let's do it.
I would love that.
Thank you. Thank you, Roomie. You've done a lot tonight.
Not just for yourself.
Not just for yourself, but for Bree and I. And I think with that, you've done it. Hey, good job.
Great job. Thank you so much for sharing. We love hearing it.
Proud of you. You can come with me to the gym because I have the Black Pass membership where you can bring somebody with you, and that's not because I'm bougie. Well, I just wanted to get the massages, and you had to get and I don't even use them. That episode of Friends where Ross and Chandler, right, are trying to cancel his membership. That's how hard it is. They have made it so hard. I forget what they said to me, but I basically just stared at them and was like, you're the devil. The bullshit they gave me about how I'm spending money to get out of this, and then I won't really be like, I don't know what they said. But Brie, I was so angry because they basically said no, but they made it so hard to get out of that I had to keep what I have. So you can come to the gym with me.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You can come to the gym with me.
And
because
then we'll both give them a nasty look.
Because I just don't get it. I'm still going to come.
Yeah.
I just want to pay $10 instead of $22.
Right. It was easier for me to end my membership, but I had the basic, the $10. But still, that you needed to go in.
Well, now you
That
have
was
to
the
give a
biggest
vial
thing.
of your blood.
Oh. Okay.
You're going to have to make a deal with the devil.
Oh, shit.
So, hope you don't like your soul.
Another.
Hope you don't like your soul. You're going to lose it at the gym.
Fuck.
Just to get in shape, just to get a six-pack.
Soul weigh?
Just enough, baby. That's why it's enticing. That's why you're still signing
Those last 3
on
pounds.
the dotted line. That's why I'm still there.
Kaylee made the mistake of telling me how much she pays for her gym because she always
your
says,
sister pays a lot.
It's so much. I forgot. I pushed it out of my brain.
You had to repress how much your sister pays for.
I just know she said it and I gasped. I almost stopped the car.
Excuse me? You're like, I'm going to open a gym. Will you pay me $100?
Right. There's some weights over there. Give me $10.
Give me $100. Yeah. Hey, but we don't know.
No.
Because we don't think about it.
We're not going to talk
I
about
pay
it.
$22. And that's a lot for me because I'm just like, that's crazy. Because, guys, we could be running outside, but I want the luxury of not having to do that because
I also think they should pay me to go there. So I wish they would.
Yeah.
I would go more.
What if then I would never find parking. I would be so mad. But I like your point, kiddo. I like where your head's at.
Chock full of good ideas.
I like it. Let's hear what you have to tell the roomie.
Okay.
All right. Dear Abby and Bree, I have a story to tell you. I wish I could say it was a happy one of a long-distance romantic pursuit that turned out well and that fills you with hope, but alas, it is not. I'm writing this letter to seek some catharsis. But first, before I get into it, I want to say, as your coworker, how much of a bright spot in my day it is to see both of you around the office. Thank you for starting this podcast, as you're both a joy to listen to and you have a great sense of humor, despite how much I think Bree giggles just a little too much at everything Abby says. I think she just knows humor. That's all.
Whatever.
Bree, I don't see the problem personally.
I think I also laugh at myself a lot.
I
just laugh a lot.
I just think you know what's funny.
I'm going to stick with that.
She's funny, but she's not that funny. I don't know, man. I was voted 3rd in high school for class clown.
Okay.
You didn't know where it was going, did you? What if that's all I said?
I was very confused.
And just kept reading. I don't know. I was voted 3rd. I have plenty of stories to share about my wild escapades, and I'm happy to be a frequent letter writer whenever you need content. Anyway, please keep keeping it real. Will do, baby. I don't think we know how to do anything else. We've tried to do scripts.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. So this is us, unfortunately and fortunately. So
Yeah.
Okay, now for my treacherous tale. Let's start from the beginning. Picture it. August 2023, Boys Town, Chicago, Illinois. It was Market Days weekend. For those not familiar with Market Days, if you think of Pride Fest as being for the LGBT community, Market Days is just for the G community. Chicago gets flooded with out-of-town gays for a weekend of debauchery, alcohol, drugs, partying, and very promiscuous activity. Of course, just as the in-person gay space became more crowded, so do the virtual ones. I started chatting online with a guy visiting from Denver who was in town for the weekend with some friends. Let's just call him Jack. He had a busy weekend full of social and party obligations, and I was recovering from COVID, unfortunately.
No.
Right. So we didn't have an opportunity to meet up. He started following me on Instagram, and we kept in touch, though. We seemed to share a lot of similar interests: volleyball, Real Housewives, Taylor Swift, the list goes on. Wow.
Love that list.
Not before long, we were chatting every single day. He would text me in the morning, send pics, sometimes even naughty ones. I would always respond, sometimes sending selfies or what I was up to at the moment. We would talk about everything: what we were up to for the day, plans we had for the weekend, our families, friends, TV, etc. It became just a part of my routine, and we would even FaceTime and talk on the phone here and there. Time continued to go by, and I just lived in this weird euphoric space where it was really nice to have someone to talk to on a regular basis about nothing, even though we weren't actually able to meet up in person. Having someone who would just check in on me regularly felt so satisfying. I rarely stopped to consider the logistics of what I was embarking on and how it made no sense. Thousands of guys in Chicago I could be flirting with, and instead am entertaining someone who lives in a different time zone. Alas, we kept on texting. I don't think you're wrong, though. It happens all the time there.
Yeah.
Fast forward 2 whole months. We're now in October. I finally mustered up the courage to ask him if it was okay if I visited him in Denver, and he said yes. I booked a not-so-cheap last-minute flight, and we now had a scheduled date on the calendar. A real, in-person, face-to-face date. I didn't want to impose, so I made plans to not stay with him, and also I understood the risk if it didn't go well, and then I didn't want him to be stuck with me the whole weekend. Facts, I would do that too. He organized a nice evening, picked me up at 7, drinks followed by a great Italian dinner. He even paid for it. We went back to my place, got cozy, and he wound up sleeping over. We didn't get up to anything R-rated, only PG-13 at best. I tried to initiate more, but I was getting the feeling he didn't want to move too fast, so I respected that. I'm a good Christian woman, he said, as the gays often like to joke. He left in the morning since he had plans for the day with some other friends, and I understood. Again, I didn't want to hijack his weekend. We left things on a have a good day, and he even gave me, I'll see you later, ? To which I replied, sure. But knew it was very iffy and uncertain, almost as if we were just going through the typical goodbye pleasantries. We exchanged short, random, and non-committal texts throughout the day. I occupied myself by going on walks, exploring the city, hanging with an old friend in the evening, and I barely heard from Jack all day, and nothing the following morning as I left for the airport. I hate him. Okay. As I sat there waiting for my flight, I mustered up the courage to ask for closure and be honest with him. I wrote a very long paragraph about how we are both adults and can just be honest with each other. I'm the type of person who gets really invested in things, so we should evaluate if it makes sense to keep talking so much, and all that. He appreciated me starting the convo, apologized for being a ghost, and confessed to being quote-unquote out if I was giving him an ultimatum of being in or out. I appreciated his candor, even though it was slightly annoying. I had to ask for it. We agreed to keep things casual from here on out, and I let him know he can hit me up if he's ever back in Chicago. Will that happen? ? Doubtful, but who's to say? It stung, of course. I immediately put on a sad breakup playlist on Spotify and cried while staring out at the runway. I feel so stupid. I let myself get invested in someone that made no logistical sense and entertaining. There were small red flags here and there that I ignored. He was a party boy, 32, and living with 4 roommates. Not much passion or ambition with his career. No talk or intention of coming out to visit me. But he was nice to me, and boy, I was attracted to him. God damn, my weakness for guys over 6 feet tall.
Ooh.
I do feel that as a short woman still. I sensed real interest for 2 full months, and now I have to adjust to not having that communication anymore, which will be sad. But I'm an adult. I can and will move on. That single life is all I've ever known, and I'm good at it, so the hunt continues. Anyway, I digress. Some questions I pose to you and the listeners is, was this a dumb endeavor from the start? Would you travel 1,000 miles for a date? How many small, red or yellow flags is it okay to ignore? It's impossible for someone to check every box, right? Would you have handled this weekend the same way I did? How do you move on from someone who became part of your daily routine? Were those 2 full months of virtual flirting a complete and total waste? Thanks for listening. XOXO, Gossip Girl.
I love it. I don't love the scenario, but love your sign off.
Absolutely love your sign off and love you.
Love you.
To start, thank you for sharing this. I feel like stories like this in general just aren't that fun to share too, because it's not the best feeling in the world to get rejected. And it definitely, obviously, like you said in there, you put on your sad playlist because it makes you feel a certain type of way. Rejection is not fun. But
well, admitting any time where you feel stupid, like,
yeah,
this is so fucking relatable. So please don't feel stupid.
I don't think you should feel stupid at all. Unfortunately, I think what makes you think this has to be stupid is that you invested a little bit more into this relationship than you did with, like, I don't know, say others. But when you think about it, if you go on dates with people who are in the city, getting to know them for those full 2 months, it's kind of the same thing. You just traveled a little bit further one time, you know, other than that, you FaceTimed. So in hindsight, I feel like dates in the city and then traveling are going to add up, just to kind of help a little bit with that.
Well, and also I'm like so fucking impressed that you took that chance and that like you did travel.
It's important.
Because like I don't have the guts to do that. So the fact that you took that chance, you're never going to know until you know. You know? Like,
you know?
You have to try. That's part of being vulnerable too.
It
and
is.
to regret that or to feel stupid because you took a bigger chance than usual isn't productive. Like I get where you're coming from, but I just don't want you to like beat yourself up about it, because one of the questions that you posed, would you have done this weekend exactly the way I did? You know, when I heard that, I was like, I would have, and that's the problem. You did it the way I would have, and that's the problem, because there was a few times in there where you said stuff where you were like, I don't want to take up his whole weekend, or so he's not stuck with me. Just like the phrasing and the way that the perspective that you put those things into, and I know that those thoughts were the same way. I don't like that. I don't want you to think that way, because also you could have been stuck with him, like staying with him.
That's
like
really
it's
true
not
too.
that he's stuck with you. I think you feel that way. It was probably expressed that way because of the way you're feeling about the whole situation now, because it's in hindsight. But I hope that you also weren't feeling that way. I get what you were doing in not staying with him. That was the smart thing to do. Yes, do that, but not so that he wasn't stuck with you.
Yeah, I agree
that
with
is
that.
Not it.
100%. And that right there, I think is something we just, as society, in the dating world in general, I think we need to stop, like myself included, going into dating with the idea of, am I going to be good enough for this person? And it should be like, are they going to be good enough for me? Are we going to complement each other?
Yeah.
And that's what it needs to be like. And reading this too, I'm like, my immediate thought is, you're putting a lot of blame on yourself here, when like, were there some questions I probably would have asked beforehand that gave me a better idea of the situation? Sure. But it's also really fun to be in that moment too, and to kind of not know what's to be expected. So I don't blame you for going on the trip. I would have gone on the trip, honestly. Like, I would have. I love a good adventure. I love a good story.
Yeah.
I love to travel. I would have done it regardless of that. That's just an added bonus. I'd probably be really scared, and I'd share my location with everybody, and I would tell them I have a knife. I would tell them I'm like, I've killed people is what I would tell him. Just so he knows what he's working with. Like, I'm not to be fucked with. But No, I would have done it too, honestly. But I think the responsibility also needs to be put on this guy too, because he wasn't being honest from the beginning. Because one of my red flags, honestly, here would have been like just one night. Like, I'm coming for the whole weekend. Like, I would personally expect somebody that I've been talking to for 2 months who knows that I'm coming into town to probably, I mean, I don't know, have something a little bit more planned for me. I think right there would have been a red flag for me of like, okay, you're not being very thoughtful of somebody who's kind of making this like commitment to you.
Yeah.
And like of my time, my resources, you know, all of that. And I think like they're kind of,
well, and that was one of his
inconsiderate.
Yeah. That was one of his first opportunities, to be honest.
No, it was like, what a man child to be like, to not come out right then and there. Cause like he wasn't even gonna, it seemed like, tell you the actual truth until you kind of had to be like, you're an adult, tell me right here and now.
You literally had to pull it,
because he was kind of satisfied with, it sounded like he was gonna, in the process of ghosting you.
Yeah.
Of like slowly easing you out, that kind of thing. And that's not a mature human being. And I just don't think his communication would have been up to par with yours, because you know yourself. You're very self-aware too. You said, I get really invested in things. Mm-hmm. I need to know right here and now, is this something I continue to invest in? And I like that about you. Like, you laid it out on the table, and you're willing to take the leap, but you're not willing to bend your needs and what works for you just so you can have somebody, which is really important. And I think you really need to look at that positive here, is that like, we could have been satisfied with bare minimum, and you were like, fuck that.
Right.
Tell me what's up.
And also, don't think that you're annoying for having asked that question, or like the whole paragraph.
I was like, that's annoying.
Right. You are the adult. You're the one, like, you are communicating and asking for communication.
You're what I would hope a 32-year-old would at least communication-wise have as a skill set at this point in time, of at least being able to be like, hey, don't really feel the connection, and if this is you, quote unquote, giving me an out. Like, even the way you say it is childish. Yeah, I don't like that. Just say, if this is you asking if this is gonna go any further. Like, even that, like, it seems like he's still putting it on you, as if like that's your idea. I don't like it, and I just don't think I mean, it's just very clear that he's not a considerate human being.
No,
and it kind of seems like he's willing to get what he can out of the situation, but not willing to like be honest when it no longer benefits him, and is willing to let that person just kind of sit there and like kick their feet. Like, Ed, like, why would he not ask you out for breakfast? I just like, you know, and like, or at least tell me straight up then and there that day. Like, why wait till I left? Like, come on. Like, it's just so easy. It's so easy to be nice and considerate, and it probably would have hurt a little less too.
Yeah.
Because that is rejection. That's what rejection feels like, is like, you can't even tell me, you were just gonna let me like fuck off.
Right.
Like, come on, like, have some respect for me. And that's where I think it hurts so much, is when people do that.
Well, and that's where clearly he's just super fucking selfish, because if I'm in his position and I have this person who I know that I'm not really that into them, but they tell me that they want to come out and visit, that is exactly where I'm going to pump the brakes and be like, oh, I don't want to do that to this person.
Right.
Or I'm like, them to spend that money.
I don't know if we're here yet. Or because it's just like, I think I would plan more than just one night, even without not really knowing. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's just me. Or I would at least like plan like a fun, like, get together, like night out.
Oh, if we're fully into it, where you have made these plans, I know you are coming for the weekend. Me for the weekend, then yeah, we're spending the weekend together.
Like, and that's where the considerate thing, like, you're very considerate, obviously. We gathered that. Probably a little overly, to the point where like you're almost like apologetic for the fact that you exist, it seems like. That's a joke, but like, that's just like, obviously.
It's relatable as fuck. Like, I do the same shit.
Right. It's like us apologizing for just existing. And like, we all need to stop doing that, because we're here. We're allowed to take up space. And sure as shit, if somebody says, I'm coming to visit you for the weekend, I'm planning out more than just one activity.
And you're hot and you're a catch, and they need to see that.
It's just a bummer that they're at this stage in their life, and
Right.
They can't even just treat human being. Like, that's just the part I'm the most hung up on, is it's just like, have some empathy for the person you were just spending. Like, it wasn't just your time. It was their time, their resources. The least you could do is just tell me you're not into it. And I would have a lot more respect for the situation, and I wouldn't want to come at your character.
Yeah.
I would. Like, it takes 2 seconds.
And I also know exactly what you mean, where it's so fucking frustrating when you're like missing this person that you know is not worth your time missing, but they were like in your life like every day practically for 2 months. Like, that's a lot of time. And I know I've even had just like casual shit where like, yeah, I probably started having way more feelings for the guy than I needed to, and it was stupid and he wasn't worth it. And you always see that in hindsight, but there was also, it becomes a habit. Like, you just associate them with these things where you usually sent them all of this stuff, or you were texting them about all of that stuff, and now you're like, now who do I send it to? Like, this sucks.
You're just a human being, you know, who's going through the trials and tribulations of dating.
Right. And it's not them you're missing, it's the
companionship.
Right.
And the idea of having somebody to talk to share things with, and you're gonna find it. Like, my kind of advice that I always tell people is, I would rather wait and be single and find the right person than settle for somebody who treats me like 50% well, or this, that, and the other. Because I just hear so many people just like who don't want to be single anymore, or just like feel like they're running out of time, or things like that because of like, you know, societal standards, or just like their own thoughts, those kind of things, or they think, you know, they have to be married by this age.
No.
And that, it's just crazy.
You don't have to.
You don't. You really don't. And that's why I think so many people settle for relationships that aren't inherently good for them or meant for them because of that. And we don't take time to focus on, you know, what is good for us, longevity and realistically. And these are great learning lessons. And, you know, this was a more expensive one, but hey.
But you took that chance.
You took the chance. You got to go to Colorado. I love Colorado. I've never been. I love it. I hear Colorado. It's beautiful.
It is. And
that's all you did.
Yeah.
Is you took a chance.
You took a trip.
You took a chance. You went to Colorado. So you got to have a nice scenery, a nice little getaway from Chicago. It's great. And you encountered a fuckboy along the way. But no, I don't think that's out of line either. I think that's a normal step to want to see if something should progress and continue. I just think this entire time you were looking at it from a mature vantage point of this could be something, but taking like precautious steps. So I personally don't fault you for anything that you did. And I think this is just an experience that you can look back on. And then in next relationships, now you know kind of what to ask for if something like this pops up again. What red flags kind of look like communicate with me beforehand. What exactly are you looking for? What do you think this could be?
But like, and the things that you said that you guys had in common, you will have in common with other people. But the things that were the red flags, and the things, even though you saw them in hindsight, or like only looking kind of a little more introspectively or thinking more in depth about it, you're like, well, no ambition. Like we're actually not a match.
It's not.
Those are the important things to realize. And it's like, okay, those are the red flags that we don't
exactly.
But when you're caught up in the moment of it and the honeymoon phase and like all this, the excitement of it and the love of the attention, like that's a fucking real thing. It feels great to feel wanted and to feel like this person's interested in you. We can't fault you for that. Nobody would fault you for that. So. And it's not impossible, but it is near impossible to catch a lot of the important red flags unless you have like somebody telling you. That's when friends really can come through and be like, wait a minute.
That's when you should email us and ask us what we think then. But I also think these are good learning lessons, again, to take into another relationship of like, to realistically ask yourself, like, oh, if I'm going to take another trip, if you find yourself in this position again, it's like, is this checking this certain box for me? Like you said, you're an ambitious person, so you want somebody who's also that way. What kind of lifestyle are they living? Does this also make sense for you, but while also taking a chance on yourself?
Well, and he never stopped anything. So who could fault you for going? Because, like, if you brought this up, you were like, I want to come visit you. And then he never said anything. Like, yeah, who would ever be like, no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, right.
You're not
this
interested.
Guy's not
It's
into
like,
me.
well,
no, he gave you no indication.
Right.
But I think if something, similar pops up like that, to take a step back before you like hit yes, buy ticket of like, is this aligning also with what I want in a relationship and what I think this person could give me? Because, also with long distance, you have to think about, are they checking these boxes too? Yeah. So just some things that I think you can take into next time that you wouldn't have otherwise known to do. I mean, who's to say what your future holds for you? But now you know, I mean, even if it's not for a trip, but now you know with your next partner, I need this person to have this goal or at least be able to do this at this age. Like, at least communicate to me if they're not into it or not. Like, I think this just gives you a better idea of what you're looking for, what you need. And unfortunately, some lessons are just a little more expensive than others. But like I said, at least you got a really nice trip to Colorado out of it.
Well, and don't continue your communication, the communication that you were.
But change the mindset.
Yeah.
Change the mindset with
you were saying is annoying. It's not annoying. It is exactly what you need to be doing.
It's what we're entitled to. It's the bare minimum. Yeah. Communicate with me. That's all it is.
You're never going to get what you want if you don't tell
And you're
anybody.
not asking too much, because you're going to find somebody that will communicate with you and you'll realize that you weren't asking for the world. You were literally just saying, do you like me? Like, please just check fucking yes or no on the box. Like, Jesus.
And crazier things have happened. Like, it is absolutely not crazy for something like that. I actually have a friend. It took me this long to remember. I have a friend who met her now husband they've been married for quite some years now, online. And he lived in Georgia and we're in Chicago. And I don't remember how long the relationship was online, that she then went to visit him in Georgia, stayed with him for like a week. Literally along the whole thing, happens. I was like, that sounds crazy. What are you doing?
Right.
I was so scared. But now, like, what the fuck do I know? They're married.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazier things have happened.
Yeah. This isn't the craziest thing in the world that anybody will do for dating.
Yeah. It's continue to be vulnerable. Continue to take those chances. Don't let this leave a sour taste in your mouth and keep you from doing something like this again. Like we said, now you just have a little bit more vetting to do. Mm-hmm.
And don't let it bankrupt you.
Next time. Yeah.
Take the chances, but don't let it bankrupt you, okay?
But yeah, keep going, because you absolutely deserve better than this idiot, and you're going to find it.
You will.
If you keep this is going to sound so fucking cheesy. If you keep being true to yourself. But
be yourself.
Be yourself. Protect your heart.
Just keep being you.
But also communicate what you want, and it will find you. Keep putting that out there, and it's going to find you. Like I said, you're a catch.
You really are, but like, is this person good for you? Are they meeting what you need from a partner? Because like, I mean, yeah, everybody's different. Everybody needs X, Y, and Z, but this is what you need, and this is how you're going to be in a successful relationship. So I think you need to start changing the mindset of like, is this person checking this for me? Not, are you checking this for them? Are you annoying them? It's like, are we mutually good for each other?
Right.
If so, keep exploring, because you don't want it to be one-sided either. Like, you do want to also be good for them, but that's not the only thing that's important here. You are too.
Right. You're going to be good for them because hopefully they're doing all the same things you're doing.
Yeah. And
you're checking off all these boxes for them without even knowing it.
Exactly.
As long as you are being who you are all of somebody's boxes. Yeah. I wish I had advice on how to not get like invested in people quickly, because girl, I do the same thing.
I think that's just like paying attention. I say it all the time, like a broken record, of like just paying attention to your energy after you communicate and talk with them and hang out with them or FaceTime them. Just pay attention to how they make you feel during it and after it. Like, if while you talk to them, it's genuine interest and not just small talk, or like if they're asking questions about you or just not interrupting you as you're talking about yourself for 2 seconds. Like, those are important things to look for. And that'll kind of be like, do you feel good when you're done talking to them? Do they make you feel this?
It's a learning curve for sure. I'm still fucking learning. You can't let it keep you from...
like, positively cautious.
Yeah. yeah, a good healthy amount of paranoia is always good and second guessing. But once you start getting in your own way, like I sure as fuck do, that's when we need to kind of think things through again.
And again, that's when you email us. That's when you email us.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll help you through it.
But thank you for the vulnerability.
Yeah.
It's not fun, like I said in the beginning, to kind of talk about these stories because they don't often put, you know, yourself in the best feeling or in the best mindset about yourself. But I think hindsight, you did a lot of really important things here, like growing, communicating, and displaying your needs and not settling, so I think there's a lot of positive things that came from this situation. But I appreciate you taking the time to be vulnerable and let us talk about this.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for writing in. We love you so much. And I'm truly, it's so relatable.
And
so
I think I am funny, so fuck you.
I'm going to keep laughing. I don't care.
Cue the giggle. Cue the giggle.
But thank you so, so much to both of our writers for writing in. We appreciate you guys, and we love hearing from you so, so much. If any of you guys have anything like either of these or anything.
Something totally different.
Yeah. What do you want for Christmas? We can't give it to you, but I want to know what you want. Maybe it'll give me ideas.
Yeah, tell me anyway.
Literally anything. Please write us at runfreeroommates@gmail.com. And please share us so we can get more roomies. We want more.
That's on my list. That's what I want. That's on my Christmas list. Get more roommates. Be shared. Be liked.
Rate us, review, comment, subscribe, all of that great stuff.
Okay.
It really helps us out, and we love seeing it from you guys. It feels so good. Thank you.
It's great. And remember, listen local.
But share us everywhere.
Share internationally. Listen local. Supports local.
And also hit us up on our social media on both Facebook
and Instagram. Did you get that?
Rent Free Roommates, both places.
Facebook and Instagram.
All two places.
All right. Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.